In the vast expanse of the southeastern Pacific Ocean, more than 2,000 miles from any continent, lies a tiny triangular speck of land, one of the most isolated inhabited places on Earth. This is Rapa Nui, better known to the world as Easter Island. Its story is a captivating saga of human ingenuity, artistic achievement, and ecological mystery that has puzzled explorers and scientists for centuries. Our journey begins around the 13th century, when a group of intrepid Polynesian voyagers, guided by the stars and the ocean currents, made landfall on this remote volcanic island. They called their new home Te Pito o Te Henua, the navel of the world. These first settlers, the Rapa Nui people, brought with them their culture, their traditions, and the seeds of a civilization that would soon create some of the most iconic and enigmatic monuments in human history. You know what I'm talking about. The Moai. These colossal stone statues, with their long faces, prominent brows, and stoic expressions, are the silent sentinels of Easter Island. There are nearly 1,000 of them scattered across the island, some standing proudly on ceremonial platforms called ahu, others lying unfinished in the quarry, as if their creators simply dropped their tools and walked away. The largest of these giants, a statue nicknamed El Gigante, would have stood over 70 feet tall and weighed a staggering 270 tons. The question that has echoed through the ages is, how? How did a small, isolated society with no wheels, no draft animals, and no metal tools manage to carve, transport, and erect these monolithic figures? The main quarry, Rano Raraku, is a volcanic crater where a soft volcanic rock was hewn into these masterpieces. We can still see the marks of the basalt adzes, the stone tools used to painstakingly chip away at the rock face, freeing the statues from their stone womb. But carving them was only the first challenge. The real mystery lies in how they were moved, some for distances of over 10 miles, across the island's rolling terrain. Oral traditions of the Rapa Nui people speak of the Moai walking to their destinations. For a long time, this was dismissed as mere myth. But recent experiments have shown that it might be closer to the truth than we thought. By using ropes and a coordinated rocking motion, teams of people could indeed walk a replica Moai upright, shuffling it forward inch by inch. It's a breathtaking demonstration of ancient engineering, a dance of stone and human effort. Once they reached their designated ahu, these platforms by the sea, they were raised to stand guard, their gazes directed inland, watching over the villages and their people. Many were also adorned with pukao, large, cylindrical topknots made from a different red volcanic rock, weighing several tons themselves. Placing these on top of the statues' heads was another incredible feat of leverage and skill. But the golden age of the Moai did not last. When European explorers first arrived in 1722, on Easter Sunday, hence the name, they found a society in apparent decline. The island, once thought to have been lush with palm forests, was largely barren. The population was small, and evidence of internal conflict was everywhere. Many of the Moai had been toppled from their ahu, face down in the dirt. This leads us to the second great mystery of Easter Island. What happened? The most widely accepted theory points to an ecological catastrophe, a story of ecocide. It suggests that in their zeal to build more and bigger Moai, the Rapa Nui people cut down all the trees. The wood was needed for transporting the statues, for building canoes, and for fuel. Without the forest, the soil eroded, crop yields failed, and the birds and other wildlife disappeared. Society collapsed into warfare and starvation, and the people, in their anger and despair, turned against the very symbols of their ancestors' power, pulling down the Moai. It's a powerful and cautionary tale, often used as a metaphor for our own planet's environmental challenges. But is it the whole story? More recent research paints a more complex picture. Some scholars argue that the deforestation was a slow process, and that the introduction of the Polynesian rat, which feasted on the palm tree seeds, played a significant role. They also point out that the Rapa Nui people were resilient and adaptable, developing sophisticated stone gardening techniques to cope with the poor soil. Furthermore, contact with the outside world brought its own devastation. European diseases to which the islanders had no immunity, along with slave raids in the 19th century, decimated the population. By 1877, only about 111 Rapa Nui people remained on the island. The intricate knowledge of their own history, including the definitive answer to how the Moai were moved, and the meaning behind their written script, Rongorongo, was almost entirely lost. Ah, Rongorongo, another tantalizing piece of the puzzle. This is a system of glyphs carved into wooden tablets, one of the very few independent writing systems developed in Oceania. But to this day, no one has been able to decipher it. Are they historical records, ceremonial chants, or genealogical lists? The tablets hold the secrets of the Rapa Nui mind, but their language remains silent. Today, Easter Island is a territory of Chile, and the Rapa Nui culture is experiencing a vibrant revival. The islanders are reclaiming their heritage, their language, and their history. The Rapa Nui National Park, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, protects the Moai and the sacred landscapes. The statues are no longer just archaeological artifacts. They are living symbols of a culture's resilience and enduring spirit. The story of Easter Island is not just one of collapse, but also one of incredible human achievement and survival against the odds. It's a mystery written in stone, a lesson etched into a remote landscape. It reminds us that even in the most isolated corners of our world, humanity has the capacity for monumental creation and perhaps the wisdom to learn from its past. The Moai continue to stand, their silent gaze challenging us to understand their journey, and in doing so, to better understand our own. Thank you so much for joining me on this exploration of Easter Island. If you enjoyed this journey into the past, please hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the world's greatest mysteries. See you next time.